Before coins, banks, or math, one caveman invented credit, and chaos followed. In a time before banks, coins, or even basic math, prehistoric tribes relied on trust, muscle, and a surprising amount of cunning. Food, tools, and favors were currency, exchanged with gestures, nods, or a grunt that signified agreement. Yet, among these primitive economies, one caveman, named Grom, saw an opportunity to change the way the tribe dealt with wealth. Grom was clever, not particularly strong, but extraordinarily persuasive. While others carried heavy mammoth bones or baskets of berries as payment for goods, Grom observed patterns. He noticed that hunters often needed extra spears before a big hunt. Gatherers ran out of dried fruits too quickly, and the shaman frequently borrowed firewood to maintain ritual fires. What if, he thought, we could promise something now and settle it later? One morning, Grom walked into the center of the village with nothing but a few carved sticks. He announced that these sticks represented credit. If someone needed a spear or berries, they could take it immediately and promise to repay him later with the same or similar item. At first, the tribe stared, confused. "Why not just trade now?" the hunters grunted. But Grom explained, in his usual gestures and dramatic grunts, that these sticks were proof that a debt existed, a simple promise written in bark or stone. The concept spread like wildfire. Soon, Grom's credit sticks were everywhere. Hunters borrowed extra spears, gatherers stockpiled berries, and even the shaman traded incense for firewood. The tribe began to function on promises rather than immediate exchanges. Productivity soared. Grom, naturally, kept careful notes of who owed what to whom, carving tiny notches into bark panels to track transactions. He quickly became the richest, most respected, and occasionally feared member of the tribe. But credit has always carried risk. One ambitious hunter borrowed more mammoth spears than he could ever repay, only to disappear on a hunting trip that went terribly wrong. A gatherer overpromised berries to 3 people at once, causing arguments and minor chaos. Grom, trying to maintain order, had to invent the first penalties: extra bark notches for failed payments and public embarrassment for repeated offenders. These punishments were surprisingly effective. The brilliance of Grom's system was not just in efficiency, it also created status. Owning credit sticks meant prestige. Villagers flaunted them, dangling sticks from their belts or carefully placing them in carved pouches around their necks. They competed to see who could accrue the most, turning repayment into a sport. Grom watched, amused, as the simple system of trust became a full-blown social spectacle with event, rivalry, and even primitive fraud. And of course, where there is credit, there is clever innovation. Some villagers began inventing elaborate barter schemes to pay off debts creatively: a carved bone for a borrowed spear, a handful of berries for a night of storytelling, or even a decorative rock that had no real use but impressed neighbors. Inadvertently, Grom had created not only the first credit system, but also the first economy of imaginative substitutes. Yet the true test came when a neighboring tribe attacked, expecting an easy raid. They were met not with spears alone, but with a network of promised reinforcements. Villagers who had borrowed weapons from Grom now returned to defend their debt. The attackers, bewildered by this organized response, fled. Grom's credit sticks had not only structured the economy, but also fortified the tribe's survival strategy. By the end of the season, Grom's idea spread beyond his village. Neighboring tribes, fascinated by the efficiency and status dynamics, attempted their own versions of credit. Some failed spectacularly, leading to chaos and berry shortages, while others slowly built systems that would echo in human societies for millennia. Grom, for his part, became a legend, not for hunting prowess, not for wisdom and rituals, but for inventing trust as currency. And yet, as the story goes, Grom often stared at his stacks of sticks at night, wondering if any of it would matter in the long run. The sticks, after all, were fragile, subject to rot, fire, and curious mammoths. Perhaps the first credit system was doomed from the start, and yet it had changed the course of human behavior forever.